Hey guys, a big question that most people ask me is, how do I get started in property and where do I start? This is what you must not do. If you're a beginner and you've never bought a property before, and you might be working, right? What most people do is they go, I'm going to go to Property 24. I'm going to scroll for a property in the area where I live. More than likely, it's going to be a 2-bedroom property. You're going to say, oh, there's an agent. You call the agent. You get excited with the agent. You view the property. You put an offer to purchase in, but you don't know. You haven't checked your credit score. You don't know what you qualify for. You hope and pray that you qualify for the mortgage, and you might get the mortgage or the bond, and then you buy the property, but you don't know what you don't know. And unfortunately, in those circumstances, that's when people lose money because you don't know what you don't know. So one thing I always teach and I showcase is the difference between the property buyers that just buy property, but they don't know what they're doing, but versus people that invest in property. And let me show you something that was taught to me in 2005, very long time ago. They said, Andrew, and I want you to write this down. At some point in my career, I was also starting out in property. And the guy said to me, why? Because if you think about it, there's cryptocurrencies, there's stocks and shares, there's garbage, all these different other ways of making money. Andrew, why do you want to get into property? Now, my answer to that was, I've always believed in property. I've always loved property. I love the different strategies. I knew that property was the people's game. And for me personally, it felt like the right decision to do. Now, the reason why I invest in property in South Africa and in England is I'm thinking long term. I don't invest for the short term. I don't use my rental income for living. I did that in the beginning where I lived off my rental income in the beginning, and that was a mistake because I should have used all that money and created a pot to reinvest further overseas. So a lesson I've learned, ladies and gents, is you need to understand why you're doing this. Is it your pension plan? Is it a second income stream? Is it just financial stability? Whatever it is to you, I want you to write that down. It's very important that you get your why right. Once you understand, like, yes, Andrew, I'm doing it because of this reason, the next question is what? So now you know why you're investing in property. What do you want to invest in? Because think about this. There's the commercial, industrial development sector. Then you get your residential sector, which consists of buy-to-lets, multi-lets, student accommodation, perhaps a block of flats, a mixture of residential and commercial. Question is, what do you want to invest in? That will be dictated to by what do you want to achieve in property. Do you want to get an extra 10,000 Rand a month? If so, let's go buy 1 or 2 multi-lets. Some of you may say, Andrew, I want to create an income through my property business that matches my salary. Whatever it is to you, once you tell me or tell yourself, what do you want to achieve out of property? Then we can start talking about which, but what strategy? Is it buy to let? Is it SA for student accommodation? Is it multi-let? Some of you, it might be commercial. Because now, the reason I ask this is this specific strategy needs to talk to why you're doing it and what do you want to get out of property, okay? Once you've got that, we then talk which. You're probably asking, what do you mean by which? Which area are we then going to go into? You see, your strategy always determines the area that you're going into. For example, buying to sell, flipping. If you need to earn big lump sums of cash, you're not going to go to a brand new area where we can't improve the property. We can't buy below market value because there's 100% bonds on the property. We're going to find a suitable area where flipping is going to work 100%. No different to commercial, no different to multi-let, no different to student accommodation. They all work very well in specific areas. Once we know which area we're going into, ladies and gents, and we know which strategy we want, and we know why we're doing this, we then just need to make sure, excuse my writing here, that we get the right education around property and we understand and we get awareness as well. Awareness around the strategies, around the OTP, around the risks. We need to really understand the sector we're going into and all the risks, because remember, it's risk versus reward. And once we've done that, do we go invest in property? Can you see, guys, that there's just a logical order? So for you sat there right now going, Andrew, where do I start? How do I get into property? This might help you. Why are you into property? What strategy are we going to do? Which area are we going into? Once we know the strategy, let's get the education around it, the awareness. Remember this, you don't know what you don't know. And then we go invest in property, and that's when we make the big bucks. But guys, there's a process involved. Hope that helps you guys.